Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for education and technology. Today, I'd like to share with you something extremely critical for traditional Chinese martial art and for Wing Chun. The reason I share with you today is because after discuss with some of my friends in traditional Chinese martial art and some of my senior in traditional Chinese martial art worldwide, some of my senior told me, Hendrik, why don't you just shut up? Don't say it. However, there are many seniors say, Hendrik, say it. Because people need to know this. Because traditional Chinese martial art is no longer just belongs to Chinese. Today, worldwide, there are many hundreds of thousands of people around the world practice traditional Chinese martial art. So they need to be clear. They need to know what is going on. So today, I'd like to share with you something called standard. Standard is like what? This is a COVID-19 time. Everybody knows this, right? We measure temperature with this, okay? So, this is a standard. Disregard of where we go, be it in the Asia, or be it in the Europe, be it in America, we all use the same measurement of temperature. Or you can have different type of gadgets for temperature measurements. But we talk about temperature, right? So temperature is the standard. So because temperature is the standard, it doesn't matter you use traditional Chinese medicines to heal the health issue, or you use the Western medicine to heal the health issue. We all refer to the same thing, temperature. So temperature is a standard. Now, one of the major reasons of the Chinese martial art is so screwed up today is because standard is screwed up. And standard is screwed up for many reasons. One of the reasons is to purposely screw the standard up so everybody can be grandmaster, so everybody can preach whatever they want. However, they have no concern of what happened with traditional Chinese martial art? What happened with the people who studying traditional Chinese martial arts? So this standard problem is not today's problem. It starts at the end of the Ming Dynasty. 100 years after General Qi Guang published or write the book in 1560s. Okay? So the problem starts there. That's the first problem. So what happened? We all know that General Qi Guang, due to he needs to clean up the mess of the pirates or the Japanese pirates, he has to build his own army and reorganize, systemize, modernize the traditional Chinese martial arts so that his army be able to clean up the problem of this Japanese pirate. It's in history. So you know that at that time, there are many good traditional Chinese martial artists is with General Qi Ji Guang to do this reform. Okay? Now, one of the martial art styles to do the reform with General Qi Ji Guang, or one of the members of General Qi Ji Guang in this reform, is Shaolin. Yes, Shaolin. You look at the history of the fighting with the pirates, you see that Shaolin monk like Ye Kong sacrificed himself there in the battle with the Japanese pirates. Okay? So, in 1560, when General Qi Ji Guang started this new reform and renew the entire thing, it wrote the article as I present in the this channel many times, and clearly in my books Wing Chun Matrix. Okay? So the bottom line is martial art is the play of impulse momentum. Fighting is the play of impulse momentum. That is the standard. Impulse momentum play. Thus, General Qi Ji Guang said, who is fast, who win? Read his article. Okay? Speed is a big deal. And one needs to know many things. Different way of playing with this impulse momentum that is written there. Now, the Korean, today we know, they study and following the General Qi Ji Guang standard after that, okay, because the Korean also study the General Qi Ji Guang's writing and teaching. The Okinawan, they do the same. Now, about 100 years later, somebody wrote an article saying that Shaolin is based on speed and momentum, while their art, which is called the Neijia internal art, is much more superior than that. You touch them, you fly. Okay? And this art is actually based on a Taoist mean Zhan San Feng in Song Dynasty, which is 500 years before pre-General Qi Ji Guang. So that is the beginning of Neijia from this Wang Zhennan Mu Zhiming, the epitaph of Mr. Wang Zhennan, 1660, something like that. 100 years later. So in the epitaph, it listed all kinds of names and so forth. This is the grandmaster of that type. Okay? Now, start from then, Shaolin is with the momentum. And this is Neijia is with their magic, whatever. Okay? Well, today we know that the so-called Shaolin is actually adapting General Qi Ji Guang's teaching. Because remember, the Shaolin is fighting with the Qi Ji Guang. While there's Neijia people today, we can know that what they are teach is actually very close or even taken General Qi Ji Guang's teaching. Okay? By evidence, like the 32 momentum of General Qi Ji Guang, they use it. Zhang Xiongxi used it. But then this is the Neijia, okay, from the Zhan San Feng and so forth. Now, the problem here is really creating a mess now. Now traditional Chinese martial art start to have a different standard. So the Neijia people said that they have this strength, like in the Tai Chi classic Wang Zhongye, he said that the other people is using speed and momentum, and we just that is just not have nothing to do or not to do with the study of strength, you know, or this. Today we translate, people translate as Fa Jing, those kind of stuff. Okay? So this is by evidence. It's not Hendrik said, this is by evidence. Now, you see the standard of General Qi Ji Guang, which is impose momentum. Today you go looking at the Western boxing or MMA or BJJ or Thai boxing, then that is all impose momentum play. Well, somehow the Chinese break into two. Okay, you use impose momentum, you are 外加 external school. We use this magic Jing, this is the internal school. Okay? You mess up the standard. And while the standard is like the temperature reflects whether you have COVID-19 or not, at least to a big part. Now, so there's 外加内加 keep coming down to today. And when Xu Xiaodong KO that guy from Tai Chi, you know what is the standard. Okay? So, since 1650, 1660, all this propaganda down to today is messing up traditional Chinese martial art big time. And today many people still believe in this Fa Jing, those stuff. Not to investigate, hey, Newton's law have tell you, you have to have the impulse momentum, and then because F equal to force equal to mass multiplied by accelerations. Okay? So the standard of traditional Chinese martial arts, because it is a martial arts, it has to be the same standard with BJJ, same standard with Western boxing, Thai boxing, Kyokushin, wrestling, and not something else. Especially something else which is, it doesn't make any sense at all. Like for example, this make use of mysterious, like this Taoist San San Feng of the Song dynasty. Is it real that according to the epitaph is written that because this Zhan San Feng got it from the heaven god that when in his dream? Well, the question is this: when the Qi Ji Guang and the Shaolin sacrificed fighting in the with the Japanese pirates' war, where the world are you all this Neijia people? Where is all this Zhan San Feng learn this Tai Chi or whatever internal from the god? Why don't they become a savior to defeat all these Japanese pirates? Why do you let innocent people die in that battle with the Japanese pirates? The entire thing is completely doesn't make any sense at all. And then, guess what? Using General Qi Ji Guang stuff, but do not give credits. So what is this? Now, I don't mean that all the internal art guy is bad or anything, because many are victims. How many people sort out this history? And yet, as we know that, like the teaching of Zhang Xiongxi, which is belong to this Neijia, his name mentioned in the Neijia, he's using General Qi Ji Guang stuff. So, why do people change this standard is because for them to define whoever they want to be. And because if you have the proper standard, people not be able to claim as grandmaster. When you claim as grandmaster because there's no standard, then everybody can say, oh, this is my interpretations. You know, all this standard stuff is problem. It's a deep root problem of traditional Chinese martial art. If that is not fixed, you will not be able to fix why that Tai Chi, Lei Lei, Wei Lei get killed by Xi Xiaodong. Okay? That's how serious it is. Now, anybody is free to create their own style. That's why I admire Bruce Lee. Bruce just create his own style. If you don't like it, you have a better thing, you create your own style. It's just like the Silicon Valley. If you don't like their corporation, how they do, you think you have better idea, go start your own company. But wait a minute. Anybody who start their own company still based on the physics, engineering. Nobody go create some kind of different standard. Because bottom line is, will this thing perform? Okay? So that is the problem of this 外家内家 since 1660s to today. If you don't straighten this up, you don't have nothing. Why? Because it's like this temperature. Are you going to using some other standard to check people when they come at your door? Or you want to get eaten alive by COVID-19 virus because of you have different standard which is totally out of the reality. So hundreds of years have passed, 400 years have passed. Many of us today are victims of victims. So I bring up the standard not to blame people today, but to say, hey, you know, we got to get the standard straight. Otherwise, you get all talented people sitting down there argue for nonsense. Imagine that we are all sitting down there without a standard called temperature and we argue about COVID-19. You can have the entire world argue about the COVID-19. I have no idea of temperature at all. What do you get? You go round and round and you have no idea where to go. You don't even know what is facing you. Okay? Don't even know. Hey, this is a temperature problem. So that is one thing. The second thing on Wing Chun. People usually like to say, oh, short bridge, close quarter fighting is Wing Chun. Short bridge is Wing Chun. And then somebody said, Chong Q Fat Leg. Long bridge issue power. Or long bridge issue force. You look at the Xi Xiaodong show, somebody even show up there about long bridge thing. Well, this long bridge issue force or Fa Jing or whatever or Fat Leg or this short bridge, this is not short strike of Chinese. This is not. So again, based on what type of standard? Shaolin short strike classic. The definitions of short strike is this. The knee has to attack your opponent. The butt has to attack your opponent. The shoulder has to attack your opponent. 3 key for 3 parts of the body. 1 part, second part, the third part. These 3. And then your hand. This is called short strike. At any engage, this attack, this attack, this attack, this attack. And thus, the thing like sun punch is attacked from here. Not from this, not from this way. It is this way. Okay? Because it is a snap. It is a torque snap. Okay? Now this leg is at front because you have to push. This leg is often lifted out because you need the agility. This is called male and female stance or steps or footwork. If you look at Western boxing, you always see that. Why? For agile. Okay, the ancient Shaolin short strike classic is recording that. Another thing of this, why is this? It's because this is thing hemming in. This is ready for this strike. So I can strike from this, I can strike from this close. And this is pushing him, pressing him. This is crushing him. That is short strike. So short strike is this. When you do something like that, this is no longer short strike. Why? My body is not getting in anymore. The entire thing is only this hand. My shoulder didn't get in, my hip didn't get in, my knee, legs did not get in. So that is a term in Wing Chun. It's called my son sit wide. My son close to the body. Sit wide, it means it takes your position, takes your balance up. From here, there is no way it is my son or sit wide. Your body is not close and you're not be able to taking his position or off his balance. Only here. This is called my son. This is called sit wide. This foot can go in between his leg. The body pushing him is actually attacking his center axis. So it is not just this center line hitting there, it's the entire thing going. The entire body is attacking his center axis. And with that, the trip, the knee, all comes. The elbow, the shoulder cross, the elbow, the shots. That is called short strike. So that is the standard. And of course that you need to have the breathing and so forth for that. This is Shaolin short strike, canon or classic. Again, I mentioned that in the Wing Chun Matrix books. So this is the standard. Now asking ourselves, when you practice Xiu Lim Tao, you say, well, Xiu Lim Tao is the soul of Wing Chun. Can your Xiu Lim Tao practice support you to do this? If it is not, then it is a different type of art. Can this support to do this? If not, it is a different type of art. It is not Shaolin short strike anymore. So, if we go for in the past few generations, we always say, oh, Wing Chun is Tip Chun Tuin Da, sticking body, short strike. Wing Chun has to be my son, sit wide. This is what it is. Now, again, the question is that, will your Wing Chun sets do that? Will your Wing Chun drills do that? The drills do that. If I just do this, you know that my shoulder is not going in, my hip is not going in, my body, my leg is not going in. I didn't have any disrupting to the opponent. This is the long fist range. For the short strike, this knee, this hip, this shoulder has to disrupt, pressurize. Yes, pressing the opponent. That is the short strike standard. So today I share with you, what is the standard of the entire traditional Chinese martial arts? Impose momentum. Not those 外家内家 keeping romancing the ancient Taoist philosophy. What couldn't even face Xi Xiaodong, couldn't even really tell what is going on when you lose to Xi Xiaodong that way. And that's why the MMA people laugh at you. Where's your Jing? Where's your Qi? Well, those are tight. Is that those Jing and Qi stuff? What is it? Well, again, define it. What is the standard? You want to go according to the Taoist? Serious? Go dig it up. The ancient Chinese actually have that thing defined. The reason why I know this is because I dig it up. Okay? So if you say, well, I'm standing in a structure like that, practically my Xiulin Tao, I have to go do it slow. What can I do this? Is it for this? If it's not for this, then this side is not for it. It's something else. Okay? So, in the Chinese history, you look at the Chinese history, you see many things people purposely want to what? Create their own standard or their own interpretations so that they have their way to market or propaganda their own stuff. And then they are going to use, you need to follow the ancient, you need to follow the Sifu, or else you are a betrayer, you are not royal. Well, my question for everybody today is, are you serious? Do you follow General Qi Ji Guang, who in the history, none of all this grandmaster you know today can be better than him? And his style is proven working even today's MMA. Do you follow that? In fact, General Qi Ji Guang have wrote an article in Mandarin called Shi Dao. Shi Dao is the way of teacher. How the student need to follow the teacher. So today we say 尊师重道. In Cantonese it's 尊师重道. That is belong to the teaching of, or one of the teaching of General Qi Ji Guang. Do we follow that? Or we just create whatever heck we want, using whatever thing we think, and then demand that you, my student, follow me because I'm your Sifu. That's the traditional Chinese culture. Well, sorry, traditional Chinese culture is not like that. Go read the history. So finally, let me tell you, I share this here in the West because many people, friends, when I discuss this type of stuff in the Asia, they always say this. Well, Hendrik, why don't you go read history, research on history? The Zhang Shangfeng is right in everything. This grandmaster approved for that and that. Have you studied history? I say yes. I study those in university. The way how I was taught is, when you study history, you get as much data as possible. There's the evidence. And you let them converge by itself, not your own opinion. That's the way how we in the West University do the study. And this is what I found out in ancient China. The ancient Chinese are smart. They are real deal. However, I will not accept the way how you However, because there is the freedom world, democratic world today, it's okay. I accept that you think differently than I. But this is how I do it. You can express the way how you want. I express how the way I want based on evidence. So finally, again, when I discuss this with many senior these few days, some say, Hendrik, you know about this, just shut up. Okay. Some say, no, everybody need to know. Otherwise, the entire thing going down. And I told everybody, the 6 core elements, that is the standard. You look into that, the 6 core elements, the physical body, the mind, the breathing, the energy, the force, the momentum, those are like temperature. Only we have this, we can do self-diagnosis. We can know what the heck's going on. We can know why don't we get this result. We can know how can we improve it. So standard is so that we all can improve. Standard is not monopolize the market. Standard is to let everybody be able to diagnose this, be able to verify things, be able for everybody to improve. So we don't we don't wasting resources. There are hundreds of thousands or millions of traditional Chinese martial artists. How many millions of Wing Chuners around the world? Are we going to use our mind, our brain power to solve the problem and everybody win? Or we want to get rid of this standard, everybody is grandmaster, and they sit around, argue with everybody, but nothing is solved, and we don't even know what to solve anyway. So this is to share with you. I say this today is based on the Buddha's teaching. Follow the Dharma, not follow the people. So you don't want to follow me. You want to follow the Dharma. And the Dharma in fighting is what? The standard, impose momentum.